my name is Vanessa Agyman. I am the founder and creative director of Copper. Welcome to our YouTube channel. So today's topic is something very close to my heart. We're going to be talking about how African design has influenced interiors. So you may have seen a lot of natural materials, bold colours being used, and a lot of this influence has come from the continent, the motherland. So I'm incredibly happy to just talk and unpick this subject. So sit back, relax and enjoy. When you think of Africa and African design interiors, I think naturally what most people think of is the bold, vibrant colours and a colour bomb. And that's a natural thing to think because when it comes to design as a whole, colours are often influenced by the surroundings. So you'll find that when it comes to the Mediterranean, they have olive greens, tonal colours, because that's what the temperature of the sun and their surrounding takes. So it's only natural for Africa to be associated with bold yellows, reds, greens, which I love myself. I think it's so important to add a touch of vibrancy to your home, just to give you that look of sunshine and happiness and warmth. You really want to just think about how to warm that space. And I think that's why the love for African print has become such a phenomenon. As you can see here, this is one of our latest additions to the family. And a lot of these fabrics originate from Dutch wax fabrics. And the reason that being is there's a whole narrative behind it. I'm not going to get too much into Dutch wax fabrics, but that is what design known for. When you think of Dutch wax, you think of kind of peacock feathers, prints, textures, styles. But one of the things I do love about wax print, especially the ones that are still owned by Ghanaian companies in Ghana, for example, is that all the drawings, the illustrations, they often have a meaning. So that's why I take so much pride when I'm naming my collection. I have to speak to my mum and like, oh, what do you think about this? So for the more vintage type fabrics, my mum will actually speak to my grandmother because all of the styles and prints, they came out of that point in time, let's say in the 60s, and there was a reason why they were printed and there's a story and there's a narrative behind it. It's become a lot more commercialized now, but it's so nice to hear that was the original of where it came from and the development behind that. So I think holding on to that is really important, and just celebrating the vibrancy, the colours, the textures is just such a beautiful thing. And for me, what my personal favourite is with those bold prints, you can then pair it with something more neutral to create that balance. So a lot of the time I get clients saying, oh, I'm not sure, I don't know if that's going to work. And then what I explain to them is that you can have an anchor colour, so like a central colour that your whole home is drawn to or in the space. And then you can just, through soft furnishings, add pops of colour, such as this, which is almost like a rich, opulent red paired with a soft emerald tone. So you can create the balance. Or sometimes, actually, a lot of the times, I get my clients surprising me because I will, when I release a collection, at Copper, I always put a bet on what I think will be the best selling, and 9 times out of 10 I'm always wrong. I always go for the more muted tones, and I will find, for example, one of our best sellers, the Medina, that was literally a blue, a bold bright yellow with blue peacock feathers, and honestly till this day it was our bestseller, and I was just like, wow, okay, so people really love colour. So I think that's why it's so beautiful to see how African print, the narrative is being shared across the world and how it's being injected into interiors and how people are no longer afraid to use colour in their home. Because colour has such an effect on your life. You may not realise it, but it honestly does. Like a colour can bring a smile to your face, or it can take you back to a place where you weren't in your happiest. So having that influence is so important when it comes to design. So the celebration of African bold prints is such a winner for me, and I absolutely love it. The amazing thing that has come out of African design and its influences in different atmospheres is the stronghold of the diaspora. There are loads of British Ghanaians, British Nigerians, American Nigerians. They have a lot of people around the globe, so that's why it's been so incredible just to see the trend coming out in different styles and forms. What you'll find is that American African influences may be very different to that of British influence. I mean, of course, not without saying that British and American culture isn't similar, but you'll just find it's very, very different. And I think that is what's been so incredible to watch. When you see African design, you often think of bold, vibrant prints, but it also has softer sides, which is warm and earthy through the natural materials and the resources they use. So I think the diaspora has had a major role in playing that into the design of interiors. You see architects like David Ajayi, who's building across the world and who's now permanently located to Ghana. He's taken his British influences and he's also been the spearhead for African influences, which is such a beautiful thing to see. So I think just championing African design through the diaspora, through the different continents, through the different countries, it's really been an explosion of culture into the atmosphere, and I think it's been a long time coming. It should have been much acknowledged way before it is now, and it's just nice to see it growing and developing and becoming something more just than staying within the continent, and it's spread its wings across the globe. So I think, the diaspora definitely plays an important role on how the narrative is being shared and how the narrative is being told with colours. Another trend of material which is beautiful to see is woven natural resources, because what that means or what that shows is that Africa naturally takes what's in its surroundings and makes it into furniture and makes it into decoration pieces. For example, there are so many woven baskets being made, and what is so beautiful in terms of woven materials such as raffia or rattan is that it's a community of women who are creating this, who are being given the power and to utilize their skill sets. So Senegalese are very good for this. You will see Congo is very good for using raffia. And what that means is that it goes far beyond where they are, and it goes places like to Europe, it goes to America, it goes far, and it's such a beautiful thing to see. And what is so nice, and I think what is spearheading the natural materials movement, is that it can be paired with a Pacific trend, mainly the Scandi boho trend, because Scandi is almost the simplicity of life, and it uses a lot of neutral tones of color palettes. So you often see, especially on Instagram, you often see a boho Scandi type home, and then you'll see like a feature with woven baskets, which is literally handmade and woven in Africa, in Senegal, in Kenya. It's so beautiful to see. And then you've got like indigo dip dyes, which are often made in the north in Ghana as well. There's just so many different ways that are being used to show the natural resources. And I think what I like about those specific things is that it's taking what's in your surroundings and it's celebrating the simple things in life. And it's such a celebration of craftsmanship that I don't think people recognized before, and now it's being enjoyed across the world. And I think most importantly, people in that area in the community can now use money and have power from their skill set. So it's so beautiful. So you've got indigo dyes, you've got woven baskets, you've got the Malawi rattan chair, you've got raffia, you've got Kuba cushions. Like, there's just so many different things, and it's just how you can infiltrate that and put that in your home and make it work. Because sometimes I was speaking to a colleague of mine, and she said she got these beautiful cushions for India, but she found when she got to England, because the hues of the natural light is just completely different, she found that it didn't fit. Now, that may have been for that case, but what you can actually do is just take stock of your surrounding. What colours make you smile? What makes you happy? What makes you think of a place when you're happiest, or when you were travelling? So for me personally, I have started to, when we were allowed to go travelling, shall I say, I have started to, instead of buying fridge magnets and those type of things, I actually buy a piece of art for every country I've been to. I mean, I no longer have wall space, but that's a whole different struggle. But I think it's so beautiful to just celebrate countries' artwork. So for me, when I see the natural earthy tones being used in Africa and brought in, it's just such a beautiful thing to see. And then you've got the woods and the textures. Actually, what I'm going to do, I'm going to show you a little bit of some of my stuff I've collected whilst being in Ghana, and then you can have a deeper understanding of what I'm referring to. As you can imagine, I'm a lover of art. I love art, I love rich wood textures. And it's only recently, actually, when I was doing our latest collection, I realized that a lot of my art is the celebration of the female form. I don't know why, but it's a thing. I think it's stunning. I make sure I go out of my way. Like, if you see me in Ghana, I'm literally finding art, not to sell or to retail, but just to add to my home, because I just love the form, the colors. I'm just so in awe of it, and I've been like that since I was a child, funny enough, and it just has never left me. So for example, this piece of art here is actually a trio of 3, and I got this in the art centre maybe 8 years ago. And what I love about it is just so simple. You can tell that they're in a hut, the ladies have come back from the stream, they've come back from a lake, and they're going back home. It's those type of forms that I love. One of my favourite pieces that I have in my home, which I actually often forget about because I'm so accustomed to seeing it, is this stunning woman here. So I got this, it must be like 10 years ago now. And I remember this is from a Ghana in a place called Abri Gardens. So when you're in Ghana, I'm not sure if it's still there or if it's more developed now, but there used to be an area where basically all the carpenters and carving experts were all kind of congregate in that area, and we always used to pass them when we were going through another city. So that's when I got my art fix, as usual, and I was so drawn to this, and I haggled so hard for it because I was so in love with it. And this was a good 10 years ago. And I think what I like about it is how subtle and simple it is. So you've got the African beads here, you've got the fabric draped around, she's stretching out, the detailing in the hair. It's just such a beautiful thing. And I have to be honest, till this, I don't actually remember how I got it from Ghana to here, because it's very heavy. I mean, it's made out of solid wood. I believe it's a type of mahogany actually, and it's chiseled. And I'm just thinking the craftsmanship and the hours and the detail that is taken just to do this piece of art is just absolutely stunning. To be honest, I should take care of her more. She's got a bit of splashes because she sits in the kitchen, but I should probably get some wood veneer to fill that in. But it's just this type of artwork, injecting that into your home is just such a beautiful thing to do. So sometimes I'm just so accustomed to seeing the art. When my friends do come over, they're just like, oh my God, you literally have a collection of art that I haven't seen anywhere. And that's what you want to have in your home. You want to have little pieces of treasures that come along with you. So this is my favorite piece of art in mine. Thank you so much for watching our video today. I hope you enjoyed it. Please don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. You can follow us on Instagram, Pinterest, Facebook, and of course, most importantly, don't forget to subscribe. See you next time.